there was a day where I did not meet my, like I was lower on the protein, but I was lower probably on a lot of things, and it seemed to go better as well. That was yesterday. I was lower on protein. I ate I ate a lot of celery and peanut butter throughout the day
Mm-hmm.
in the middle of the day, and that was
Okay.
actually satisfying.
Okay.
And I did, but I didn't have meat where I normally would
That's
in the
fine.
middle of the day.
That's fine because the meat is a tool to be able to fill you up and try to prevent you from consuming too many carbs because you're filling yourself up with protein. So therefore, you don't have as much room to aim for the added carb calories that you would normally consume. But if you have something like a peanut butter and celery combination, what's consistent about that with the recommendations that I've made is that it's low carb as long as you get the right peanut butter. You don't want to have a peanut butter that's loaded with sugar. You want to have the carbs low in the peanut butter, but the peanut butter would be low carb, high fat, and then the celery would have no calories. So you would be consuming essentially a high fat source with very low carbs, which is consistent with what we're trying to achieve. We're trying to keep your insulin levels as low as possible. You do not need to go out of your way to consume protein at those meals. You don't have to consume protein with that celery and peanut butter combination. I think the celery and peanut butter is like a dessert. It's like a snack. It's like something that would be almost considered a candy bar that is consistent with what we're trying to achieve because the candy bar, unlike the celery and celery and peanut butter, is going to have a ton of sugar and lots of carbs, and that's the reason why it's going to set you back if you grab a Snickers as opposed to the celery and peanut butter. So the fact that you like that, I would definitely integrate that into the diet a couple times a day. And it doesn't just have to be the celery and peanut butter. You can come up with other options that are consistent with that. But since you like that one, that's one you should focus on. And I know when I find something I like, I can consume it on a regular basis and be satisfied with it when it's something. And I'm a big fan of peanut butter too. So I know you have something like that, you can look forward to it on a regular basis. That
Yep.
makes things a lot easier. So
Yep.
the protein, that's you're not going to live off the celery and peanut butter 4 times a day, but the protein can be a part of those other meals. But the celery and peanut butter is that snack where, and I think maybe you get yourself in a situation where if you think that I have to aim for that protein every meal, so it's hard for me to get that protein, or maybe my appetite is not so high to be able to consume that protein for this meal. So I'm getting hungry, but I don't really want that. So then I'm getting hungry for something else. And that something else is not something you should be eating. But you have the celery and peanut butter, which is something you can eat that's not high protein, but it's consistent with keeping your insulin levels low. It's not going to be super high calorie because you're going to be consuming an amount that's a snack portion of it. You're not going to be consuming a jar of peanut butter, I'm assuming. I guess I
Right.
should have asked first. Okay,
Yeah,
so
you're right.
yeah, so that's going to be good. I think that's your asset. It fills you up. The fat fills you up. It's a good source. The protein and the fat are both good sources of calories to fill your stomach. And that's the reason why I want you to gravitate towards protein and fat and stay away from the carbs. If you can do that, this is going to work. And a meal does not need to be super high in protein and balance out the rest with fat. It could be the other way around. It could be high in
Okay.
fat and just eat some protein, or don't eat protein at all. Like in those meals with the celery and peanut butter, there's really you're not a bodybuilder at this stage. You're not lifting weights. You don't have to worry about getting X amount of protein to build muscle. That's not something that you need to worry about. So you don't have to be tracking protein per se. The rule is simply, if you can keep this in your mind, I'm going to grab the protein. If for some reason I can't access the protein, or I don't want the protein, I don't feel as if I'm in the mood for it, but I do want something, a snack like the celery and peanut butter is perfect.
That's awesome. Yeah, that seemed to be a positive, and I feel like with that working for me, I think this is going to be a better week. I really do.
Good. Yeah. It's so important. We all have our individual tastes and desires, and experimenting like that and coming up with anything that fits the criteria that I've just described. It's high protein or high fat, and then just mix and match those combinations to come up with what you feel you gravitate towards. And that would be a perfect example of something that you can integrate into the diet, look forward to, and that'll help you during the times where you have cravings, because peanut butter is delicious. Large amount of people know what I'm talking about. It's something that you can look forward to. So you end up having that, and knowing you can have that, and knowing you don't have to restrict yourself to avoiding the foods, because you've taken a lot off the table that you would normally gravitate towards in times like these. So having meals that are consistent with what you're trying to achieve, yet they do make you happy. They have enough taste, enough flavor, and they fill you up enough that you'll be able to consume them and really look forward to it. I think that's the key to making this sustainable long term.
Yeah, pretty important. I don't, a lot of this stuff, 5 out of the 7 days I work, so
Yep.
sometimes 6. So yeah, a lot of it, I need to be satisfied and not, not be feeling unsatisfied, for lack of a better word. I just need to be not feeling like I need more or something different. I need to be just at least good with it. And
Yes.
so far, yeah, I think that will, like you say, that'll kind of be a suitable substitute, because I am guilty of having a hankering for candy bars. But like, if there's no candy bar there next to me and I've got celery and peanut butter, accessible, that works. It just works.
Mhm.
So
Yes, that's fantastic. Yeah, that's great. I integrate that on a regular basis for this next
if they were
week.
side by side next to each other, I'd probably go to the candy bar.
When-
But if I
yeah,
can
that's the reason why
keep
they're.
myself away from the candy bar and I have
Yeah,
the celery and peanut butter by my side, then let's roll. Let's go.
I suggest you just bring the celery and peanut butter to work with you.
Yeah.
If you do that, if that's the only thing that's available that you can see that's within arm's reach, I think you'll probably grab it.
Yeah.
That's usually the way it works. So that's something that I think is really going to be very, very helpful to you over the next week, because it's something now that that you're going to be able to use on a regular basis.